Hello, it's Tuesday night at 6:30, so it's time again for What We're Reading. And I'm having so much fun just talking to two of some of my favorite librarians from the Englehardt and Alto branches. I have the regional manager of the Englehardt and Alto branch, who was Alto's, and I knew I'd mess this up, Alto's manager since there were covered wagons and horses. Or are they still there, Sandy?
Applications are still here.
And I have Miss Sara, who's the branch outreach and program specialist from Engelhardt and Alto. Welcome, welcome, both of you. So great to see you. You know the drill, you know the show, so I'm going to jump right in and say, Sara, what are you reading?
Well, hello. Thank you so much for having me here. So excited. So, what am I reading? For anyone who knows me, you know that I love graphic novels. So, I'm reading Glitch by Sarah Grayley. It's delightful, it's wonderful, and it is full of fantastic art and it's a really good time. So, Sandy,
Where
I
does
know you.
the title come from? What's a glitch?
Well, glitch is there's a glitch in this video game that our main character Izzy is playing. And she's really into video games. And I'm not very good at video games, but I do think they're kind of entertaining to watch. So for any of my teens out there, you know that video games are a bit challenging for me, but I will do my bebop best and I will try. Um, but by golly, they're a challenge. So Izzy in this game or in this graphic novel, she gets this really cool video game and it's like a D&D game and she falls inside of it and it's
What?
and it's so cool. It's awesome. And there's dungeons and dragons and skeletons
Oh,
and
is it scary? Should we be worried? Are we going to be too afraid to go into this
no,
to
because
read this?
it's delightful. And also, those who know me also know that I really like cats. And,
What? You're
I
kidding.
know, shocker, I really like cats. And there's a cat in this book, and it's so cute. And her parents are like, Izzy, why can't you be more normal like the cat? And it's delightful and fabulous. And the cat just like sits at like the dinner table with them and will be like, I'm eating my spaghetti, Izzy. Why can't you eat your spaghetti? And it's delightful and fabulous. So if you're looking for a ridiculous, whimsical, fabulous book, I mean, Glitch is where it's
Glitch
at.
is your book. And I have to say, Sara obviously is a very animated, wonderful speaker and can't wait to do programming again. Sara, do I hear a rumor that we might be doing some story times outside soon?
You do hear that rumor. So we are really hoping, fingers crossed, that we are going to be doing outside programming this summer if guidelines allow us to do that. And that would mean outdoor story time. So
Yay.
family story time, y'all. It would be so wonderful. So we are hoping for that. We've got some really fun ideas for how we're going to be able to make that a really safe and fun way to be able to do that and to see everyone. So we're going to be doing a family outdoor story time at Alto. We're going to be doing two different types of story times at the Lowell Engelhardt branch, and you'll be seeing those across the whole system for KDL. So keep your eyes open for that. Check out our KDL website, our KDL social media, Facebook, Instagram, and we will keep you up to date on that as things progress. So we're
Yay. And I know it,
excited that
we're
we've missed
excited.
you.
Yes, we're excited at the Amy Van Andel branch to do outdoor story times at the farmers market this summer. So I can't wait till the farmers market is back, and we can't wait to see the kiddos and read books to them again. I'm so excited. So, but Sandy, I think, brought a grown-up book. So if you're looking for a great adult book to read, don't despair because Sandy has you covered. Sandy, what are you reading?
One I'm reading right now is called How the Scots Invented the Modern World by Arthur Hackett.
Oh, and
And
did they?
in a way, yes. This is a book that has been on my to read list for 20 years, literally. Before this, one came out called How the Irish Saved Civilization.
I remember that one.
That was, how they brought Europe finally out of the Dark Ages. And this is more on inventing, like it says, the modern world. The Scots were influential in setting up the modern banking that we have, a lot of art and architecture. And one of the things I thought was most interesting is Scotland was the first place where there was a stress put on universal education, not just for the rich, and I should say not just for rich males, but for everyone of all classes, and both boys and girls. So that was one of the interesting things that I've come across in this. So,
Yay, Scots. Okay, go.
in the library, literacy matters to us. So.
Yes.
And but
is it at all dry to read though, Sandy? I mean, is it a good read?
Being Scottish, I think it's fascinating.
We should have known with your red hair.
Right. Yeah, a lot of things that kind of paved the way for what our world is now. Not in this book, but of course, Arthur Fleming was a Scot who invented penicillin. Technology for television was invented by a Scot. Paved roads, not cobblestones, but a port paving, invented by a Scot. Artificial dyes were invented by a Scot. So,
okay.
Not that I'm prejudiced or anything.
So, Sandy, did you read the? Oh, I was going to say, Sandy, did you read the Ireland one?
Not yet. That's also on my to-read list.
First things first, Sarah.
Right.
I know, gotta get that Scotland one.
That's ahead of the Irish.
And Sandy, I hear though that at Alto, you've got something new going on. You've got a new friends group happening. What's happening there?
We've resuscitated the friends group. We've had one for several years, but it went totally dormant. But we've got a couple of teachers who don't want to completely rusticate, but they don't want a job either. So they were both interested at about the same time. And the nice thing about it was we already had money in our accounts. So the stress isn't on fundraising. So for us, the stress is more helping us if the day comes when we can do outreach again, and helping with some of the programs going on here in the branch. So we're looking for helpers and promoters rather than fundraisers.
So if you live in the Alto area or are interested in commuting to the Alto area, and why wouldn't you, to help this beautiful Scots woman in her gorgeous library, let Sandy know. Okay, Sarah, I'm going back to you because I know you got another book. What you got there?
All right. Now, surprise, it's another graphic novel. Okay, friends. I've got Yorick and Bones, and it's the cutest little thing you've ever seen in your life. Look at that.
Who wrote it, Sarah?
Oh, well, let me tell you. Now, it's called The Lost Graphic Novel of Shakespeare, but it's not really by Shakespeare. I must share this with you. It's actually by Jeremy Tankard. I know. I don't want to give you any false information. It's by Jeremy Tankard and Hermione Tankard, and they are just a power couple when it comes to creating this. So Yorick is our little skeleton here, and one day he's just living his best life in the ground. He's been kind of dead and buried for a while, and this witch walks by and she just drops her little magic potion, and Yorick comes back to life, and he doesn't realize that he's been dead, and he kind of crawls out of the ground and he's like, forsooth, what's going on? And then this little dog named Bones comes by, and he's like, oh my goodness, a skeleton with lots of bones that looks delicious. And oops, sorry.
Eat Yorick?
So he's really trying. And meanwhile, Yorick is like, well, you should be my best friend because I haven't had a best friend in a long time. And they just have the most ridiculous adventures together. And it's precious and adorable.
I have to interrupt to ask, is this Yorick actually Hamlet's teacher, Yorick?
Well, I'm not going to tell you because I'm not going to spoil this. story, Penny.
Okay.
Penny, you have to read this book for yourself. And then you can read more of Shakespeare's works, right? Because it's definitely by Shakespeare, you know. But it is so cute. And this is one of the most wholesome books I have read in a long time because we just all make
Really?
positive, glorious, wonderful things. And I mean, as a cat person, I really loved this, and it had a dog in it. And I was
Wow.
just so happy, and I couldn't stop smiling. And I just like had the biggest grin on my face the whole time reading this. So if you're looking for something that will just bring you pure happiness and joy, Yorick and Bones is where it's at.
Well,
It's a
see,
good one for
that
younger readers and adults alike.
yay, that's good information because I would not have guessed from the skeleton on the cover that it was a happy, wholesome, smiley kind of book,
It's so
which
happy and it's so
covers
wholesome.
can be deceiving.
They can be. I mean, I myself judge books by their covers, which I know is terrible and awful, especially as a librarian, but I'm only human.
You are.
Yes.
Okay, and I know Sandy's got another book too.
Sure. This one is an audiobook, so it's been on the phone using the Libby app that you can get, and that's probably hard to see. So I did get the cover off of Amazon, so you can see it.
Yay.
This one's called The Yellow Wife by Sadiqa Johnson, and this was recommended by one of my coworkers at the Englehardt branch. And totally different from Yorick and Bones. This is not a happy, pleasant read. Matter of fact, there were times I had to stop listening to it because it was quite disturbing. It's written in the first person by a woman who was a slave in Richmond, Virginia in about the 1850s. And the things she depicts are quite upsetting. And then you also have to realize that it was probably even worse than what she's saying here. But it's how originally as a girl, because her father was the plantation owner, she expected her freedom papers when she turns 18. He ends up dying before that happened. She goes into slavery. It could be worse, but it's still horrible. And she's had a child by a man from the plantation she was from, but then in the situation she's put in, she's had more. And it's just this constant trying to do what's best for her kids, for the people around her. And again, difficult situations, but a very touching book. It's a difficult book, but it's a good book. So.
You don't know. I mean, those kind of books it's important to really get empathy for other situations and other terrible happens. And yet it's hard, especially when you're in a place of pandemic and everything else that's going on sometimes, to put yourself in the position to read something that you know is going to be that hard to read.
Yeah. But everybody I've talked to that's read it has had nothing but good things to say about it. So it's been enjoyed by a lot of people. Got a big push from the O magazine last year. It was one of their favorite historical fiction books of 2020. Yeah, 2020. And so yeah, and it's worth the hype.
Oh, great. Show the cover one more time for us, Sandy. I gotta check this out. Yellow Wife.
Let's see, is that centered?
Sadiqa Johnson. It says Ella Wife, but we got it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Which way? There we go.
Perfect. Excellent. That sounds great. And I know, Sarah, I think you've got one more, don't you?
Oh, I mean,
Sarah's
I've
got that smile on her face.
Whole stack of them. So it's however many you want, Penny. All right.
Well, give us a few of your favorites here, quick.
Okay. We'll do a book that has like actual text. Okay. So this book is called To Night Owl from Dogfish. And it's by Holly Goldberg Sloan and Meg Wolitzer. And this book is wonderful. I'm currently listening to the audiobook right now. And then when I'm not listening to the audiobook, I'm reading it because it's just that lovely and I've got to finish it. And it's about these two girls whose dads send them away to summer camp together because the dads are going on a trip. And we've got our two main girls, and we've got Avery, who is very nerdy. She's a little anxious. So, I mean, I feel you, Avery. Life can be hard. And then we've got Bet, who is adventurous, and she loves animals, and she wants to go out into the world and explore everything and live life to the fullest. Now, these girls get sent away to the summer camp in Michigan. So you're like, oh, so fun,
What?
Michigan.
Michigan?
I know. It's so cool. So it's this like camp, and it's very STEAM, science-y, like learning all the things. And so Bet is not feeling like she's in her element here. And Avery is like, this is my camp. I've gone here for years, and I'm amazing at all of these things. And so the book is told through a series of emails and text messages between all the characters and letters, and it's so much fun. And it starts off, it's kind of like has like a Parent Trap feel to it, but like with a twist. And you can totally tell that it's like they're like at like interlocking at one point, but they call it sea locking, and it's so
Oh,
clever. And you're like, oh my goodness, I know where you are, because Avery's mom is this famous actress, and she's coming to visit from a neighboring camp, and for like Parents' Day.
Avery.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's so much fun. So if you're looking for a really fun book that will just be like, like what a good time, and just has that fun Michigan flair, check out
Yeah, and
Tonight Out
Meg
from
Wolitzer.
Dogfish.
Meg Wolitzer. She's written an adult book, hasn't she?
She's written a few
I
adult.
should know this, but I'm like, adult books are not my area of expertise. And I'm gonna be honest about that. And that's why you're here, and that's why Sandy's here. If you want
Yes.
picture books and day books and teen books, I've got you covered.
I heard the name Meg Wolitzer, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that name. She wrote The Interestings and The Female Persuasion. So some good, solid book clubby kind of books.
Oh, we love that. We love a good book club book.
Okay, I'll give you one more if you really want to, Sarah. Do you have one more that we can't live without?
I'm just going to show you my stack, okay? And I'll just be like, look at how beautiful books are. And I'm just going to read them off to you. Chasing Redbird by Sharon Creech. It's an old one, but it's a good one. The Adventures of Teemo. It's beautiful. It looks like the same art style as Secret of the Kells, which is a great movie. Fangs, which is about a vampire who falls in love with a werewolf, and it's just beautiful and adorable. And finally, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I was gifted this book twice because the people in my life are like, you will love this book. And it's beautiful, and it reads kind of like Winnie the Pooh. And it's a great one for this time of year that we've all been going
I was
through.
gifted that book too. That's so weird.
It's really
I wonder if it was
good.
from the same person.
Probably.
Is her name the same as yours?
You know what? It's not, but it's
Okay.
really amazing. Yes.
Yay. One other thing I wanted to mention are, and Sandy can tell us about this. We talked a little bit about what has changed with libraries due to COVID, having to have fewer people in, some restrictions, missing out on story time, missing out on some outreach that we were doing to, especially to the seniors. But Sandy brought up some things that we have added since COVID that we're going to keep. And one thing in particular, Sandy, you want to tell us about that?
Of course, curbside. That's been successful enough that we're all going to stick with that. And then at all of our branches, we've also had these take and make craft kits. We can't have programs in the library. Many of our programs were crafting. So now you can come to the library, take the materials, go home and do it yourself. And then related to that, I should also mention they're planning on doing that as summer adult program. And
fun.
people who put them on in the buildings, they're going to be doing a video, probably similar to what you're doing here. And so we're going to actually have some instruction involved in the summer to do these. But yeah, people have loved these little kits so much that we'll probably keep on doing them some way, somehow. Whenever it is, we're beyond COVID.
Well, we're trying to maintain. Thank you for the crafts. Thank you for the book suggestions. Thank you both for coming tonight. Everybody go out to Englehardt and Alto and say hi to Sandy and Sarah. You'll be glad you did. It's a great place.
Can do one more promo?
Yeah.
The core collection that's been at Ada has now reached out to the other branches.
Yay.
So this is something Penny's been involved in. A curated collection of nothing but good reads. So they're on the shelves now at all the branches.
So look for
They're
that course
amazing.
sticker. Oh, yay, thank you. Look for that course sticker when you're in if you're looking for something good to read, or tune in again next week when I have the Kentwood staff are coming to join me to tell me what they're reading. So see everybody next week.
Thanks, Penny.
Thank you so much. Bye.